it's an interesting point you raised up that I've talked about on the show or on different shows that we produce, is that technology can go a couple different ways. That it can sort of dehumanize, and of course it's capable of doing that. But the other version of it, when used right, is that it actually makes it actually helps the communication at a high level, which is what you're talking about. Because so often on projects, I used to work in construction, and so often on projects, it's like the foreman's showing up once a week kind of thing. And you kind of got to give them a few notes, and and then if something,
Right.
it's all fine until something goes wrong. Then
Yeah,
everybody
absolutely.
wants, like, well, what happened on Wednesday? What happened this time? What happened with this equipment? And all of a sudden, if you didn't have it documented, you've got a real issue. But you and able to build that trust in remote areas and with people that, like you're saying, it's still sort of a handshake industry. Now you're using technology to actually get those relationships even more established.
Right. Yeah. It's like I said, when we first started asking clients in the very beginning, hey, do you want to be on this email string where you're going to get 10 pictures of the project all throughout the day? It's going to have a weather timestamp on it to show you what the temperature was at 6 a.m., noon, and 6 p.m. They were kind of like, not really, but I don't want you to plug up my inbox any more than I have to. But then as they started to understand who we are and what we're trying to develop in that relationship, now it's a formal request. I mean, it's just like, hey, what was that again? I need to be on that. I need you to copy my VP of operations on it or what have you. So
Yeah.
it's kind of neat how that all come together.
Yeah, when I run into a company that is transparent, I will pay more. I will say this: I will
Right.
pay more, especially if it's something that's like business related. I'm more than happy to pay a few points more to not have a huge cost. Have you run into that sort of thing in the industry already, where you do get outbid for a job, and then you're ending up, a year later, you get that email saying, can you come and take a look at this? We've run into some problems.
Absolutely. As part of our delivery package, when we send out our quotes or our proposals, we include everything from the ICRI guidelines that were, specifically written by professionals within this room, or the ACI guidelines, American Concrete Institute. We send all those guidelines over. We send the material specs, the data sheets. We give them a full package. And oftentimes, I think that's sometimes overwhelming. When you get 5 or 6 PDFs attached with a proposal versus our competitors that are sending a 1 or 2 page type proposal,
Yeah.
and you're just searching for the dollar amount. But in that particular instance, it's nice because you're kind of pre-educating the customer, and you're really making them, determine, do I want a relationship based type of project here, or am I just looking to get the quick hit fix done? I want them out of my facility. And we've had a couple of those cases where we've been notified and said, hey, you're not the winning bidder, and here's why. You were 10% off, 5% off, whatever that is. During that time, I'm also very gracious in saying thank you for letting me know.
Yeah.
But here's why. Here's why we're $30,000 off, and really explain those services just that one last time, not as a come back please type scenario, just saying, hey, FYI, now that you're contractually bound with XYZ contractor, here's what you should expect. You should, as the very minimum, this is what you should get out of them. And we kind of set that tone, and that sometimes comes back to benefit us in a way that we just had a client that went with contractor X at low dollar, and had to make the phone call and say, hey, by the way, I need you to come back. I need you to tell me where they went wrong, why they went wrong. We're asking them to come back and fix it. And we kind of helped them drive that scenario of, yes, it's got a 3-year warranty or a 5-year warranty, whatever that is, and hopefully educate them so that they can be the voice for their own, their facility. And in one specific case, that didn't even work when we helped educate the client on saying, hey, ask them to give you data sheets. We need to make sure that they're using the right materials during the right weather and so forth. And so we're in a situation right now where we're going back and completely redoing a project for a very good client. And it's frustrating because I know the initial money that they spent up front to let somebody in, but it's definitely an education for them as well. So Yeah, it does come to fruition of launching all those different pieces of information in the front side.